A person who was known to exist, but who had not been discovered, suddenly appeared in Paris, presented herself at an occult lodge, and demanded admission into the brotherhood on terms which could not be entertained for a moment. She then disappeared, and the next thing that was heard was that a certain Madame Blavatsky had been expelled from an American brotherhood for an offense against the Constitution of the United States, and had gone to British India in order to carry out a certain threat, which it would seem there was a fair prospect of her putting into execution. It is only within the last few months, 1893, that I learned the details of this Homeric struggle, at which poor Madame Blavatsky played the part of Patroclus in the armor of Achilles. Like Patroclus, she spread consternation at first, but was soon metaphorically slain, or rather, taken prisoner. Then it was that the real battle began, and for several years raged around her unhappy personality. I gathered the following information: that the phenomena of the séance room not due to the spirits of the dead, but of the living; that modern spiritualism is an experiment on modern civilization decided on, about 50 years, by a federation of occult brotherhoods for the purpose of testing its vitality and ascertaining whether it is capable of receiving new truths without danger; that there are what may be called a liberal and a conservative party amongst occultists, and that the rank and file are strongly conservative, though about 2/3 of the leaders are more or less inclined to liberalism, and that owing to the preponderance of conservative opinion, spiritualism is about to receive a severe blow, which will have the effect of throwing discredit on phenomena generally; that the aspect of the heavens, at the time of the birth of Madame Blavatsky, frightened the conservatives, and resulted in a kind of coalition ministry, which gave place to Old Liberal one in the year 1841. That a brother of the left revealed this fact to Madame Blavatsky in Egypt about 20 years ago; that she returned to Europe immediately, and imposed certain terms as a condition of reception into an occult brotherhood in Paris, which were indignantly refused; that she was subsequently received in America, and expelled very shortly afterwards; that in consequence of a threat from Madame Blavatsky that she would soon make the American Brotherhood shut up shop, a conference of American and European occultists was held at Vienna, and a particular course of action decided upon; that during the time Madame Blavatsky imagined herself to be in Tibet, she was, in reality, in Kathmandu in the state known to occultists as in prison; that certain Hindu occultists who, for patriotic reasons, having sided with her against the American Brotherhood, had nearly succeeded in procuring her release from prison by their own efforts, consented to a compromise whereby she was to be set free on condition of their non-interference with anything that had already been accomplished; that Kothumi is a real person, but is neither a Tibetan nor a Mahatma. He is, said Mr. X, a treacherous scoundrel by the pay of the Russian government, who, for a time, succeeded in deceiving Madame Blavatsky, but whose true character and personality she at length discovered. Her chagrin at being hoodwinked caused her a serious illness, but as the Mahatmas were the foundation stone of the Theosophical Society, she was obliged to keep up the deception. She contrived, however, to let Kothumi gradually disappear as the author of phenomena, and substituted for him a mythical Mahatma M, who never appeared in his astral body. That, incredible as it may seem, she allowed herself to be again deceived after her return to England, this time by a renegade Jewish man who had been expelled from a continental brotherhood for the practice of evil arts. It was decided not to warn her against this individual, because he was keeping her alive. In her wretched state of health, the withdrawal of the stimulus of his control would have been fatal. The man waited until she had completed the second volume of the Secret Doctrine, and then threw her over. She succumbed to her next attack and died in 1891, unsuspicious, as far as it is known to the last, and serenely unconscious, that she had been all her life at all in the hands of designing persons, very few of whom were her intellectual equals, and who made disgraceful use of her extraordinary mental activity and unique gifts. This extract is from C. G. Harrison's book, Transcendental Universe.